Hello, this is Lucas McFarland. I'm going to go really quick here with the breaking news. And all, I wanted to start early. I've been really busy today, sleeping, playing football with some friends. Right now, Gonzaga's playing Duke right now in a big one, 1 versus 3. Gonzaga's up 19-15. They're both 5-0. We'll go over the college basketball rankings later. I wanted to go over the NFL games really quick. I want to go as fast as I can because I got family coming over. So I might go for try 40, 45 minutes. We'll go for the week 11 real quick for the NFL. Also, Les Miles is going to be Kansas's coach. James Paxton's going to be with the Yankees, and Kurt Suzuki signed with the Nationals, and Adrian Beltre retired. So we go for last week's game 4-1. Green Bay was at 4-5. Seattle. Seattle won 27-24. Mike McCarthy made two dumb plays at the end. He wanted to punt it on 4th and 2. He didn't challenge a play late in the end. Aaron Rodgers had a great game. He was 21 to 30, 332 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chris Carson, Seattle, for the running back, 17 carries, 83 yards, and 1 touchdown. Russell Wilson had 225 yards passing, and a 15-yard touchdown pass to Ed Dickinson with 5:08 left in the game. Vontae Adams, big game too, best of his career. 10 receptions, 166 yards. As Seattle won 27-24, they moved to 5-5, and Green Bay is now 4-5-1 overall. Dallas was 4-5 going into the game at 4-5. Atlanta. Mayer had a game-winning field goal at the last second. They won 22-19. Zeke Elliott, big game, 23 carries, 122 yards, and a touchdown for Dallas. Julio Jones had 6 receptions, 118 yards, and a touchdown for Atlanta. Carolina was 6-3 at 3-6 Detroit, and Newton. Well, Carolina kept missing extra points and field goals and such right down there. And Carolina, they were down 2013 late in the game. They decided to go for two. 2019, they missed it. Newton got banged up in this game. He was 25-37 for 357 yards, 3 touchdowns. So Kerryon Johnson. He had 15 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown. DJ Moore, big one. 7 receptions, 157 yards, and 1 touchdown as Detroit wins an upset 20-19. They're now 4-6. Carolina's now 6-4. Tennessee was 5-4, come out their big win against New England at 4-5. Indianapolis, man, they're dominated. They're up 24-3 at the half. They won 38-10 later. Luck had a big game, 23 of 29, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns. And T.Y. Hilton, 9 receptions, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns. Marlon Mack, 16 carries, 61 yards. Oh, wow. Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo has off crutches, so that might be something to watch. Let's see. And Marlon Mack, 1 touchdown as well. Indy's now 5-5, so is Tennessee. Tampa Bay was 3-6 at 2-7. Oh, Mariota was also out for the rest of the game with an injury, wrist injury again. 3-6 Tampa Bay was at 2-7 New York. The Giants won 38-35 as Eli was 17 of 18, 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, 27 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. As the Giants won 38-35, they're both 3-7 now. The Buccaneers are a tough loss for the Redskins. They lost 23-21, 6-3 against 6-3 Houston. They lost Alex Smith for the rest of the season, which was a bummer. Sorry, it was cold outside. Deshaun Watson was 16-24, 208 yards and a touchdown as the Texans won 23-21. That's tough as my family time. I gotta get rolling soon. Steelers won 2016. They moved to 6-2-1. Jaguars are 3-6. Steelers won 2016. Big Ben was 27-47, 314 yards, 2 touchdowns. Antonio Brown had 5 receptions, 117 yards, and 1 touchdown. As they got a game winner, they're on 16-0. They came back to win 20-16. The Ravens were 4-5. They hosted the 5-4 Bengals. Ravens won 24-21. Lamar Jackson started. He had 26 carries, 117 yards. As the Ravens won 24-21. Wow, 5-5. They're both 5-5 now. 405 games, 1-8. Oakland was at 2-7. Arizona. Oakland won the last second field goal, 23-21. Derek Carr was 19-31, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. As Oakland won that game-winning field goal, 23-21. They both moved to 2-8, tied with the worst record in the league. The Broncos on a game-winning field goal as well. They were 3-6 going at 7-2 Chargers. McManus had a game winner. Philip Rivers 401 yards, man, 2 touchdowns. Philip Lindsay 11 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. Broncos won 23-22. They moved to 4-6, and the Chargers moved to 7-3. The Eagles were 4-5 at the best record. The Saints 48-7. They moved to 9-1. The Eagles are 4-6. Breeze 22-30, 363 yards, 4 touchdowns. Mark Ingram 16 carries, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. As the Saints won 48-7. And also the Vikings were 5-3-1 at the 6-3 Bears. Bears won 25-20 over the Vikings. Wow, Jordan Howard 18 carries, 63 yards. Khalil Mack a sack and a fumble. As the Bears are now 7-3 and the Vikings are 5-4-1. The Chiefs are 9-1 playing the 9-1 Rams shootout game. 54-51. Mahomes 6 touchdowns, but he also turned the ball over 5 times. Tyreek Hill 10 receptions, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jared Goff had 3 touchdown passes. Big game there. Rams went to 10-1, first team to 10 wins. Chiefs were 9-2. Bills, Browns, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, 49ers were all off. The standings, I want to go over that real quick if I could. I might end a little early. Might get back into it later on some things. Might go part 2. Patriots are 7-3. They're leading the AFC East. Dolphins are second at 5-5. Bills and Jets are tied at 3-7 in the AFC East. The North, Steelers are 7-2-1. The Ravens and Bengals are tied for second at 5-5. The Browns are 3-6. The Texans are leading the South at 7-3. Colts and Titans both 5-5. Colts on the head-to-head. Jaguars are still 3-7 and last. In the West, the Chiefs are 9-2. Chargers 7-3. Broncos are 4-6, and the Raiders are 2-8 in the West. In the East, the Redskins are still 6-4. Cowboys are in second at 5-5. The Eagles are 4-6, and the Giants are 3-7. In the North, Bears are 7-3. Vikings are 5-4-1. Packers are 4-5, and the Lions are 4-6. In the South, the Saints are 9-1. The Panthers are 6-4. Falcons are 4-6, and the Buccaneers are 3-7. The West, the Rams are 10-1. Seahawks are 5-5. Cardinals and 49ers tied at 2-8. The wild card, I gotta look here for something. I was looking at the wild card race. I'm trying to find that. Oh, here we go. So we got the AFC. The Chiefs are 9-2. Steelers are 7-2-1 second seed. Patriots are 7-3, and so are the Texans. Are tied for third and fourth. Chargers at the top wild card spot at 7-3. Ravens own the head-to-head at 5-5 for the sixth seed, with the Bengals, Dolphins, Colts, and Titans. Broncos are right there at 4-6 with the Browns, and that's the wild card race at the moment. I want to get into it later, but those are the top teams. Oh, go back. No, I don't want that. Not the preseason. I want but yes. But the Rams are 10-1. The Saints are 9-1. Bears are 7-3-1, or 7-3. My bad. The number 4 man. Wow. The NFC East. The Redskins are 6-4. Two wild card teams are the Panthers and the Vikings at the moment. I'm in a big rush, guys. So as you can tell, might be struggling a little bit. But I'm sorry. I'll give you my quick preview of my games for Week 12 this week if I can get it up. So here we go. 7-3 Bears are at the 4-6 Lions. Chase Daniel's starting instead of Trubisky, so it might be closer. I think the Lions win by a close field goal. Also tomorrow, 6-4 Redskins at the 5-5 Cowboys. I like Dallas to beat the Washington Redskins because Colt McCoy's playing short week. Dallas could take advantage of that. 8:20 tomorrow night. Falcons are 4-6 at the 9-1 Saints. I like the Saints big in that one. Sunday matchups, 3-7 Jaguars at 3-7 Bills. I like the Jags, even though Josh Allen's coming back to play. I like the Jags here. 3-6-1 Browns are at the 5-5 Bengals. I think the Browns are going to upset the Bengals this week if they run the football. 7-3 Patriots and at the 3-7 Jets. I like the Patriots in this one. 3-7 Giants are at the 4-6 Eagles. I like the Giants in an upset as well. Also at 1 o'clock, the 2-8 49ers at 3-7 Bucks. I like Tampa Bay. Close one, 5-5 Seattle's at 6-4 Carolina. I feel like Seattle's going to start a run. I like Seattle in an upset here. Also at 1 o'clock, Raiders are 2-8, the 5-5 Ravens. I like the Ravens big. 4:05, 2-8 Arizona's at 7-3 Chargers. I like the Chargers big. 4:25, 7-2 Steelers at the 5-6 Broncos. I like the Steelers big in that matchup. Dolphins are 5-5, 5-5 Colts. I like Indy big. Sunday night, 4-5-1 Green Bay's at 5-4-1 Minnesota. I like Minnesota in a close one here. They need to win this game bad. They're at Seattle and New England back to back, or New England and Seattle back to back. Also, Titans are 5-5 at the 7-3 Texans. I like the Texans big, and the two teams that are off, the Chiefs and the Rams. Now for college football, real quick. For last week's matchups and this week's matchups. Week 12, I want all. I'll just go over the scores real quick. I don't have time to get into the players that happened. I'm just going to go over the scores real quick. Like, I normally do the stats, but I can't do it this week. Last week, I'll start with 6-4 Western at 3-7 Ball State. Ball State won 42-41. Ball State stopped Western on a 2-point conversion. I can go over the stats in another part too, maybe later. Depends on what I'm doing. I'm just going over the games right now. 9-1 Buffalo was at 6-4 Ohio. Ohio won 52-17. They moved to 7-4. Buffalo's 9-2 now. Miami, Ohio was 4-6 at 7-3 Northern Illinois. Miami, Ohio won 13-7 with a late pick six. They're now 5-6. Northern Illinois 7-4. Last Thursday's matchups, 5-5 Toledo was at 2-8 Kent State. Toledo won 56-34. They moved to 6-5. Kent State's now 2-9. Tulane was 5-5 at 7-3 Houston. Houston won 48-17. They moved to 8-3. Tulane's now 5-6. North Texas was 7-3 at 5-5 Florida Atlantic. North Texas won 41-38 over Florida Atlantic. Those are Thursday matchups. 25th ranked Boise State was 8-2 at 3-7 New Mexico. Boise State won 45-14. They moved to 9-2. New Mexico's now 3-8. Memphis was 6-4 at 5-5 SMU. Memphis won 28-18. They moved to 7-4, and SMU moves to 5-6. Saturday's matchup ranked games. Citadel gave Alabama a test early, 4-5 at 10-0 first ranked Bama. Bama won 50-17 over Citadel. They moved to 11-0, and Citadel's now 4-6. Duke is 7-4. They're 7-3 going into their matchup with 10-0 at second ranked Clemson. Clemson won 35-6. They moved to 11-0, and Duke 7-4. 12th ranked Syracuse was 8-2 at 10-0 third ranked Notre Dame in the Bronx. Notre Dame won 36-3, moved to 11-0, and Syracuse 8-3. IU was 5-5 at 9-1 fourth ranked Michigan. Michigan won 31-20. They moved to 10-1, and IU's 5-6. UMass was 4-7. This is their last game of the year. 9-1 fifth ranked Georgia. Georgia won 66-27. They moved to 10-1, and UMass 4-8. Kansas was 3-7 at 9-1 Oklahoma. Oklahoma won 55-40 over Kansas. Oklahoma's now 10-1. Kansas now 3-8. They have 55-40 Oklahoma. Rice was 1-10 at 8-2 LSU, 7th ranked. LSU won 42-10. They moved to 9-2, and Rice is now 1-11. Arizona was at 8th ranked Washington State. Arizona moves to 5-6, and Washington State's now 10-1. Washington State won 69-28. First big upset, West Virginia was 8-1 at 5-5 Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State won 45-41. They moved to 6-5. West Virginia is 8-2. Ohio State, Maryland. This was show. Maryland goes for 2 late in the game. They were 5-5 hosting 9-1 10th ranked Ohio State. Ohio State won 52-51 on a late comeback. They moved 10-1. Maryland's 5-6. Another ranked matchup, 24th ranked 9-1 Cincinnati was at 9-0 Central Florida. 11th ranked Central Florida won 38-13. They moved to 10-0, and Cincinnati's now 9-2. Idaho and Florida. Idaho is 4-6 at 7-3 13th ranked Florida. Florida won 63-10 13th ranked. They moved to 8-3. Idaho is 4-7. Penn State was 7-3 14th ranked at 1-9 Rutgers. Penn State won 20-7. Penn State's 8-3 and Rutgers is 1-10. Another ranked matchup, 6-3 Iowa State was at 7-3 Texas. Texas won 24-10. They're 8-3. Iowa State was 6-4. Middle Tennessee was 7-3, playing 7-3 17th ranked Kentucky. Kentucky won 34-23. They moved to 8-3, and 7-4 is Middle Tennessee. I don't have time for the stats today. I gotta go down and eat dinner with my family. I'm gonna go really quick, guys. Oregon State was 2-8 at 7-3 Washington. Washington won 42-23, moved to 8-3, and Oregon State's 2-9. Utah was 7-3 at 5-5 Colorado. Utah won 37. They 19th ranked. They moved to 8-3, and Colorado's now 5-6. 20th ranked Boston College was 7-3 at playing 4-6 Florida State. Florida State with the upset. They win 22-21. Florida State's now 5-6. Boston College is 7-4. Arkansas was at 21st ranked Mississippi State. Mississippi State was a 6-4 going into their matchup with 2-8 Arkansas. They win 52-6 big. They're 7-4 now. Arkansas's now 2-9. Northwestern's now 22nd ranked. They were 6-4 playing 5-5 Minnesota. Northwestern won 24-14. They moved to 7-4, and Minnesota's 5-6. Last ranked matchup, ranked team, 9-1 Utah State won 29-24 over Colorado State at 3-7. They moved to 10-1 overall, 10th straight win, and Colorado State's now 3-8. Unranked teams, South Florida lost their 4th in a row. They were 7-3 going into the matchup with 6-4 Temple. Temple won 27-17. They moved to 7-4 overall. South Florida 7-4 overall. Colgate was undefeated 9-0. They played 8-2 Army. Army won 28-14. They moved to Army moves to 9-2, and Colgate's 9-1. MSU was 6-4 going into the matchup with 3-7 Nebraska. Nebraska won 9-6. They moved to 4-7, and MSU moves to 6-5. Baylor was 4-6 at 5-5 Baylor. TCU won 16-9. They both moved to 5-6. Pittsburgh clinched an ACC Coastal title. They moved to 6. They were 6-4 playing 5-5 Wake Forest, and Pittsburgh won 34-13. They moved to 7-4 overall. Wake Forest was 5-6. NC State was 6-3 going to Louisville overall, 2-8 in their matchup. NC State won big 52-10. They moved to 7-3. Louisville's now 2-9. Florida International was 7-3 playing their matchup with 4-6 Charlotte. They won 42-35. Florida International's now 8-3, and Charlotte's now 4-7. VMI was 1-9 going to 3-7 Old Dominion. Old Dominion won 77-14. Old Dominion's 4-7, and VMI's 1-10. Georgia State and Appalachian State. Georgia State's 2-8. Appalachian State 7-2. Appalachian State won 45-17. They moved to 8-2. Georgia State is now 2-9. Marshall was 6-3, playing 3-7 UTSA. Marshall won 23-0. They're 7-3 now. UTSA is 3-8. North Carolina was 1-8, hosting Western Carolina 3-7. North Carolina won 49-26, moved to 2-8. Western Carolina 3-8. UL Monroe and Arkansas State. UL Monroe is 6-4, so was Arkansas State. Arkansas State won 31-17 over UL Monroe. They moved to 7-4. UL Monroe is now 6-5. Nevada was 6-4. They won 21-10 at 21-12 at 1-9 San Jose State. San Jose State moves to 1-10. Tulsa was 2-8 at 2-8 Navy. Navy won 37-29. Navy's now 3-8. Tulsa's 2-8 as well. Texas State was 3-7 going their matchup with 8-2 Troy. Troy won 12-7. They moved to 9-2, and Texas State is now 3-8. Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss. Louisiana Tech was 7-3. Southern Miss was 4-5. Southern Miss won 21-20. They moved to 5-5. Louisiana Tech's now 7-4. Wisconsin with a great comeback, 6-4 at 5-5 Purdue. 3 overtimes. Wisconsin won 47-44. They moved to 7-4. Purdue's 5-6. Bowling Green and Akron, 2-8 Bowling Green. Oh, whoops, was at at 4-5 Akron. Bowling Green won 21-6. They moved to 3-8. Akron's now 4-6. Another overtime game. Virginia was 7-3 at 6-4 Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's now 7-4, and so is Virginia. Georgia Tech won 30-27. Another big matchup. Miami was 5-5 at 5-5 Virginia Tech. Miami won 38-14 big. Miami is now 6-5, and Virginia Tech is now 4-6, struggling bad. Texas Tech was 5-5, playing in their matchup with 4-6 Kansas State. Kansas State won 21-6. They're both 5-6. Big match shutout here. Iowa won 63-0. They were 6-4 going to their matchup with Illinois 4-6. Iowa moves to 7-4, and Illinois moves to 4-7. Another big SEC matchup. Only good SEC matchup. 6-4 Missouri was playing 5-5 Tennessee. Missouri won big 50-17. They moved to 7-4. Tennessee was 5-6 overall. UCLA beat USC. UCLA is now 3-8, and USC was 5-6. UCLA was 2-8 going into the matchup, 34-27, and USC was 5-5. Auburn shut out Liberty. Liberty was 4-5 going into the matchup with Auburn 6-4. Auburn won 53-0, and Liberty is now 4-6. Auburn 7-3. Wyoming was 4-6, playing 4-6 Air Force. Wyoming won 35-27. They moved to 5-6. Air Force now 4-7. Excuse me. Georgia Southern was 7-3, playing Coastal Carolina at 5-5. Georgia Southern won 41-17. They moved to 8-3. Coastal Carolina is now 5-6 overall. South Alabama and Louisiana 2-8 was South Alabama, and 5-5 was Louisiana. Louisiana won 48-38. They moved to 6-5. South Alabama was 2-9 as well. UConn was 1-9, playing 2-7 East Carolina. East Carolina won 55-21. They moved to 3-7. UConn's now 1-10. UAB, they were 9-1, playing at 6-4 A&M. A&M won 41-20. A&M won. They're 7-4 now. UAB is 9-2. Another overtime game, 5-5 at 4-6. Ole Miss at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt won 36-29 overtime. They both moved to 5-6. Chattanooga was 6-4 at 5-4 South Carolina. South Carolina won 49-9. They moved to 6-4. Chattanooga 6-5. UTEP was 1-9 at 1-9 Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky won 40-16. They moved to 2-9, and UTEP's now 1-10. BYU was playing New Mexico State. BYU was 5-5. New Mexico State was 3-7. BYU won 45-10. Big one. And San Diego State was playing at Fresno State. 7-3 San Diego State, and 8-2 Fresno State. Fresno State won 23-14. They moved to 9-2, and San Diego State was 7-4. Last two matchups. Arizona State was 6-4 at Oregon at 6-4. Oregon won 31-29. They moved to 7-4 overall, and Arizona State 6-5 overall. UNLV at Hawaii. UNLV was 3-7 at 6-5 Hawaii. Hawaii won 35-28. They moved to 7-5, and UNLV is 3-8. Postponed matchup. Stanford was 6-4 at 6-4 Cali because of the wildfires. California. That has now moved to December 1st. All the December 1st games were moved. Also, last night's finals was a little bit of the Western one. Lambeau House now 6-6 bowl eligible. They won 42-21 over 4-8 Ball State. Northern Illinois and Western are both 7-5 now. Western won 28-21 in an upset game. The standings, I'm just going over the conference standings real quick for you guys, not the overall records. For the American Athletic, Central Florida, now they're going to the East. They beat Temple already. They're 7-0 in first. They're 9th in the nation. Temple 6-1. Third is Cincinnati 5-2. 3-4 South Florida. East Carolina's 1-6. UConn's 0-7. And last in the West, Houston's 5-2. Memphis and SMU and Tulane are all 4-3. Navy's 2-5, and Tulsa's 1-6. The ACC 2-20. Clemson, Syracuse. Clemson clinched it. They're 8-0. Syracuse 5-2, tied for third. NC State 4-3 with Boston College. Florida State was 3-5. Wake Forest was 2-5. Louisville was 0-8. Coastal Pittsburgh clinched theirs. They're 6-1. Georgia Tech's 5-3. Virginia's 4-3. Duke and Miami are tied, and Virginia Tech are all tied at 3-4. And North Carolina's 1-6. The Big 12 is a cluster. Oklahoma is 7-1, 6th ranked. West Virginia, Texas are 6-2, and Iowa State's 5-3. It's between West Virginia and Texas. TCU is 3-5, along with Baylor, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. And last is Kansas at 1-7. The Big Ten East, Michigan, Ohio State. That's the big one this week. 8-0. Michigan, Ohio State's 7-1. Penn State's 5-3. Michigan State's 4-4. Maryland's 3-5. IU's 2-6, and Rutgers is 0-8 in the West. Northwestern 7-1. Wisconsin's 5-3. Purdue and Iowa are tied at 4-4. Nebraska's 3-5, and tied for last are Illinois and Minnesota. It's USA East. Florida International Military are tied at 6-1. Marshall's 5-2. Florida Atlantic and Charlotte are tied at 3-4. Old Dominion's 2-5. Western Kentucky's 1-6. And in the West, UAB's 7-0. They clinched the West. Louisiana Tech's 5-2. North Texas 4-3. Tied with Southern Miss at 4-3. UTSA's 2-5. UTEP's 1-6, and Rice is 0-7. Overall records: BYU 6-5. Notre Dame's 11-0. Army's 9-2. Liberty's 4-6. New Mexico State is 3-8. UMass is 4-8. Buffalo is 6-1 for the East. Miami of Ohio is 6-2 for the MAC East. But Ohio's 5-2. Bowling Green's 2-5. Akron's 2-5. Kent State's 1-6. Northern Illinois in the West 6-2. Western's 5-3. EMU and Toledo tied at 4-3. Ball State's 3-5, and Central's 0-7. This is for the Mountain West Mountain Division. Utah State and Boise State playing this week, 7-0, 6-1. Utah State, then Boise State. Wyoming 3-4. Air Force and Colorado State are tied at 2-5. New Mexico's 1-6. The West, Fresno State's 6-1. Nevada's 5-2. Tied for third, San Diego State and Hawaii at 4-3. San Jose State and UNLV at 1-6. Washington State's 7-1. So is Washington at 6-2. They're playing this week for the North. Stanford's 4-3. Oregon's 4-4. Cal's 4-4, and Oregon State's 1-7. Utah clinched theirs. They're 6-3. Arizona's 4-4. Arizona State's 4-4. USC's 4-5. UCLA's 3-5, and Colorado's 2-6. The East, it's Georgia and Alabama. Not even gonna go over the standings there. Troy's leading theirs in the East, and Louisiana Raging Cajuns are tied, leading at 4-3. Actually, they're leading it solely. I'll go over the scores real quick. I gotta go really soon. I'm having dinner soon. I might come back later. I might not. Depends on how long my family is. We'll go over NBA, college basketball, and NHL later. I'm just going to go over my matchups real quick for college football, and I'll do a part 2 session for this because I'm really busy. I'm about to have dinner soon, and I have family over. Tomorrow night, Thursday, 3-8 Colorado State's at 4-7 Air Force. I like Air Force close. 7:30, 18th ranked Mississippi State, 7-4 at 5-6 Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss in an upset. Friday matchups: 14th ranked Texas, 8-3 at 3-8 Kansas. I like Texas to win big. That's on FS1 at 12 at Fox. Nebraska's 4-7 at 7-4 Iowa. I like Iowa big. At noon, Akron's 4-6 at 7-4 Ohio. I like Ohio big. At noon, Bowling Green's 9-2 at 3-8 Bowling Green. I like Buffalo big. At noon, Central's 1-10 at 6-5 Toledo. I like Toledo big. 6-5 EMU's at 2-9 Kent State. I like EMU big. 12 on ABC. Houston's 8-3 at 7-4 Memphis. I like Memphis in a close one. 2:30 on CBS. Arkansas's 2-9 at 7-4 Missouri. I like Missouri big. 3 o'clock, Coastal Carolina's 5-6 at 2-9 at South Alabama. I like Coastal Carolina. East Carolina's 3-7 at Cincinnati 9-2. I like Cincinnati big. At 3:30 on ABC, 7-4 Virginia's at 4-6 Virginia Tech. I like Virginia Tech in a close one. 4 o'clock on FS1, 7-4 Oregon's at 2-9 Oregon State. I like Oregon. 9th ranked UCF at 7-4 South Florida. I like UCF big. They're 9th ranked. Oklahoma, West Virginia, big one. Watch out, Oklahoma. 6th ranked OU. 10-1 at 8-2 West Virginia. I like Oklahoma big. 8:30. Washington's 8-3 at 10-1 Washington State 8th. I like Washington State in a close one. The big one here on Fox. 4th ranked Michigan and Ohio State. 4th ranked Michigan and 10th ranked Ohio State. Michigan. I like Michigan in a close one, honestly. I think they're actually going to win this one. Also at noon SC Network, Georgia Tech 7-4 playing 10-1 Georgia. 10-1 Georgia, I like them big. They're 5th ranked. Also at noon on ABC, 11th ranked Florida and Florida State, unranked. I like Florida State in an upset. 20th ranked Syracuse 8-3 against 7-4 Boston College. I like Boston College in an upset. Also at noon, Marshall 7-3 at 8-3 Florida International. I like Florida International. At noon, Western Kentucky's 2-9 at 7-4 Louisiana Tech. I like Louisiana Tech in this matchup at noon. 5-6 Baylor's at 5-6 Texas Tech and Arlington in FS1. I like Texas Tech. At noon, Purdue's 5-6 at 5-6 IU. I like Purdue in a close one. Navy's 3-8 at 5-6 Tulane. I like Tulane in this one. 12-20 NC State 7-3 at 2-8 North Carolina. I like NC State in this matchup big. 12-30 Wake Forest is 5-6 at 7-4 Duke. I like Wake Forest in an upset here. Get bowl eligible. Old Dominion 4-7 at 1-11 Rice. I like Old Dominion big. 2 o'clock New Mexico State 3-8 4-6 Liberty. I like Liberty. 2 o'clock Georgia Southern's 8-3 and Georgia State's 2-9. I like Georgia Southern over Georgia State. 2:30 Wyoming's 5-6 at 3-8 New Mexico. I like Wyoming over New Mexico. 2:30 Troy's 9-2 at 8-2 Appalachian State. I like Appalachian State. Also at 3 o'clock Southern Miss is at 5-5 at UTEP 1-10. I like Southern Miss big. Louisiana 6-5 and at 6-5 UL Monroe. I like UL Monroe over Louisiana. At 3 o'clock UAB's 9-2 at 7-4 Middle Tennessee. I like Middle Tennessee over UAB. 3:30 on 3 o'clock Pac-12 Network. 6-4 Stanford and 3-8 UCLA. I like UCLA in an upset. 3:30 on CBS. I like Auburn 7-4 at 11-0 first ranked Alabama. I like Alabama at 3:30. 5-6 Maryland at 8-3 Penn State. I like Penn State. 3:30 on Big Ten Network. Illinois 4-7 at 7-4 Northwestern. I like Northwestern. At 3:30 on ESPN. Pittsburgh's at 7-4 at 6-5 Miami. I like Miami in an upset. 3:30 FS1. 6-5 Arizona State's at 5-6 Arizona. I like Arizona to get bowl eligible in this matchup. 3:30 on ESPN 2 5-6 Minnesota's at 7-4 Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin big. SMU's 5-6 at 2-9 Tulsa. I like SMU. 3:30 7-4 Temple's at 1-10 UConn. I like Temple. 4 o'clock Arkansas State 7-4 at 3-8 Texas State. I like Arkansas State. 4 o'clock Rutgers is 1-10 at 6-5 MSU. I like MSU big. 4 o'clock Tennessee's 5-6 at 5-6 Vanderbilt. I like Vanderbilt in a close one. At 6 o'clock Charlotte's 4-7 at Florida Atlantic. 5-6 at Florida Atlantic. And also at 7 o'clock, South Carolina 6-4 at 11-0 second ranked Clemson. I like Clemson big on ESPN. ESPN 2 15th ranked Kentucky's 8-3 at 2-9 Louisville. I like Kentucky big. 7 o'clock on FS1, Kansas State's 5-6 at 6-4 25th ranked Iowa State. I like Kansas State in an upset here on the road. San Jose State's 1-10 at 9-2 Fresno State. I like Fresno State. At 7 o'clock, Colorado's 5-6 at 6-4 California. I like California. North Texas is 8-3 at 3-8 UTSA. I like North Texas. Big ranked game on SC Network. 7th ranked LSU 9-2 at 7-4 22nd ranked A&M. I like A&M in an upset here. 3rd ranked Notre Dame's 11-0 at 5-6 USC. I like Notre Dame big. Also at 8 o'clock on Fox, Oklahoma State 6-5 at 5-6 TCU. I like TCU in a close one. 9:30 on CBS Sports Network. 7-4 Nevada's at 3-8 UNLV. I like UNLV in an upset. BYU 6-5 at 17th ranked Utah. I like Utah in a close one. 21st ranked Utah State at 23rd ranked Boise. I like Boise in a close one. 7-5 Hawaii at 7-4 San Diego State. I like Hawaii in an upset matchup. We'll go over the basketball rankings really quick, and I'll go over the races really quick, and we'll do a part 2. Depends on how busy I am tonight. I apologize for being busy. Also, Gonzaga's at 47-33 right now over first ranked Duke in the Maui Invitational. I'll just go over the rankings really quick. I apologize for doing this today. I was at the Western game last night. I've been really busy today. The top 25 at the moment: Duke, Kansas, Gonzaga, Virginia, Tennessee, Nevada are all 1 through 6, 3-0. North Carolina 7th at 4-0. Auburn's 3-0. I think they just lost last night. Michigan's 5-0. These are updated rankings. Kentucky, Michigan State, Kansas State, Virginia Tech, Florida State, Mississippi State, Clemson, UCLA, TCU, LSU, Iowa, Oregon, Buffalo, Ohio State, Purdue, and Wisconsin are the updated rankings at the moment. The NASCAR standings: Joey Logano won the championship. Congrats to him. I gotta get going. I gotta eat dinner. We'll do a part 2 if we can, maybe tomorrow. I'll see you guys later. Sorry for the short podcast. I'll see you.